This is Agape Podcast. This is episode number 12. We are already at number 12. If you didn't catch the first 11 episodes, go back on YouTube and you can get those live and in action. And then also, if you would like to see if you like to just hear our podcast, you can go to Anchor, to Spotify, to Apple Podcasts. And again, you can see us live on YouTube. But I just want to welcome everybody in. I would like for people to come on in, to join in and make comments tonight, because tonight we are talking about the hot topic about parenting. Yes, yes, yes. Parenting is a hot topic right now because this is a brand new age of children that we are dealing with. And that's not bad. It's good because we knew that our children would evolve with the times. And some of our children, I would say they have come out of the pandemic. Really, all of them have come out like champs. Some of them have come out with a little bit of trauma, some different things like that. But I mean, just for them to have gone through a pandemic, think about it. Have none of us have been through a pandemic until recently, especially if you're an adult. But just think about what these children have been through by going through that, and they have made it out to the other side. So, what does that other side right now look like? Well, it looks like a whole lot of brilliant kids, especially in technology. A lot of things that they are able to do that we probably couldn't do half of what they can do at their age. But we also have some children that barely made it out. They came out and they have been socially and emotionally, kind of had a hard time with those areas. They're socially and emotionally challenged because it's like they missed some years. But again, like I said, it's good on both sides because they made it out. And so I'm just going to encourage you guys, come on and join on in on this conversation. I want you to put some things in the chat. If you have questions, if you have concerns, I would like for you also to put your names in the chat and just let me know what you're thinking right now about parenting. So the first thing I want us to just kind of talk about parenting from the perspective of when you're parenting a young child. Some people are parenting new babies. They're in the preschool age to baby stage. And you're just like, oh my goodness, my child is showing so many advanced features at such a young age. And that is fantastic because, again, the children of the 21st century, they can do at very young ages what a lot of us did not start doing until later on in life, until we were much older. So what we want to do is we want to encourage that. We want to nurture that, those gifts, those talents that the children have. We want to nurture that in them and don't discourage them. I know sometimes people be like, oh, look at her. She just act like she grown. She too fast. He too fast. He just growing too fast. I want him to stay young. But time never stood still for anyone, and it's not going to stay still for these young people. So celebrate the fact that your child knows how to play a complex video game. Celebrate it, but also create some boundaries. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Then also encourage your children, encourage them into the things that they like, the things that they want to do, the things that they're really good at. Encourage them in those things. Let's not be Debbie Downers. Let's not all be negative about what they can do and their abilities, but let's celebrate these advancements in our children because of the fact that they have been through some things that we have never been through. And again, like I said, yes, we know that there are some areas that children may have suffered in, but that's why we are a community. That's why we're a family. Remember that years ago, our community raised us. I was telling somebody the other day how I would not dare do anything crazy at school because I knew that, number one, when I went home, I knew that after school, my brother and I had to go next door over to our neighbor's house because she was our babysitter until our parents came home. And we would go to her house, and her name was Little Mother. We would go to little mother's house and she would drill us. Okay, what happened in school today? No, don't give me a yes or no. What did you get into? Do I need to see any letters from your teachers? Do you have homework? Oh, you don't have homework? I got something for you. You want to go outside and play? Okay, you're going to get in here at this table first and do this homework. Then you're going to eat a snack. Then you can go outside and you can play all you want to. But you're going to do this homework. That was little mother. That's big mama. That's that person that's at home raising your kid nowadays. And I hope you have that person in your life because that is part of the community. Don't despise the elderly when it comes to raising your children, because think about it. If they had an impact on your life and you turned out okay, they can have an impact on these young people's life. But as parents, we got to teach our children how to respect their elders, how to appreciate what's deep down inside of them. What it is that they have to bring to us is of value. And you have to teach your child that, first of all, in order for them to even be able to receive from the community. So, first, parents, make sure that you are teaching your children how to respect their elders. Now, I want you to take a look at this shirt that I have on. Yes, this is a new shirt that we are selling, and it is called Parents, the First Teacher, because truly you are the first teachers of your children. So you got to teach them how to respect their elders. And you don't even have to put it like that. Some people like elders, even the kids like elders. What is that? Teach them what it means. But they need to learn to respect them because they are a wealth of wisdom. And so I will never forget when little mother taught us that. And so if we had done anything wrong, me and my brother, if we had gotten in any trouble at school, it went through little mother first. And we knew by how upset she was, how upset our parents were going to be. So then we ended up getting it from little mother. Either we didn't get to go outside and play, or we didn't get the snack that we wanted, or something like that. But then by the time our parents got home, we was trying to get our words together. I was trying to get, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say, oh Lord Jesus. And then you would get home and try to explain it to your parents. But, our parents, they weren't as free as the parents today where they listen to children. It was just like, what did I tell you? What have I taught you? How have I raised you? They went back and they asked those questions and you had to answer because we knew better. You knew better than to act up at school. You knew better than to even try. We wouldn't even try to disrespect an adult. That was like not even in our culture at all in our home. But you knew better than to not do something that you were told or to not be where you were supposed to be. You knew better. So then you would get in trouble with your parents, whatever type of discipline that was. Then when you went over your auntie's house on the weekend, you got in trouble by your auntie. So again, like I said in the beginning, it was a community that raised us. And that is why we have the morals, the values, and the tools that we needed to become successful adults. Because we watched and we listened and we learned. And the key point right now with today's children, they don't want to listen, a lot of them. I'm not saying right now that there's no children that don't listen, but many of them do not want to listen to what adults have to say. Agape Learning Tools Podcast is sponsored by Creating New Paths in Parenting. This nonfiction book is a guide for parents to raise successful 21st century kids. In this book, there are stories shared, tips given, and facts for parents. Get your ebook or paperback copy today at agapelearningtools.com, along with other educational resources. Also, you can order your parenting shirts just by emailing info@agapelearningtools.com. Why is that? You think? What do you think about that? Why is that? I'm trying to see if, are you all able to comment on this live? I'm not sure if it's just that I'm not seeing your comments. Let me take a look and see, can I see them? Let me see. I know somebody's going to tell me if I can see or not, see why they're not, why I'm not seeing comments. But One of the things that I also wanted to I'm going to kind of keep talking as I go and check and see, um, can I see you guys on here? Hold on a minute. I'll take a minute. Okay. Yep. I see you. All righty. Good, good, good. I see you. Okay. So, yay. So I see somebody has joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. And I know more people will join us in a few minutes. But okay. So let's get back to this conversation about the community raising us, the community bringing us up. The community that you had your children in was so important. It was a family. Parents were not upset if another person um, impacted their children. Like I said, little mother, she couldn't do no wrong in my parents' sight because of who she was and the value that she held to us. So now I think sometimes parents make the error when they don't allow other people to speak over their children or speak into their children's lives. When parents defend everything that their child say and they don't believe what other adults tell them that their child did. Now, I know it's some adults out there that may not always tell the truth on your child, but parents should not be so defensive always about not my baby, not my child. My child didn't do. Remember, you have two different people in front of you when you look at your child. You have the child that you know at home, and be honest, you know your child. This is what gets me when parents come and they try to act like they don't know their child. Now, Junior was stealing since he been 3 years old. And then you going to be surprised when he steals something at school? Come on now. Don't be surprised. Just acknowledge it and deal with it. But then the other thing is that, you have to remember that you also have that child that's at school, that's away from you, that's with their friends. I've had parents say, no, my child would never use that type of language. Yeah, they do. They do it in front of people all the time. And that's where, again, continue to keep parenting. One thing that bothers me about right now, the generation of parents and the parenting right now, is that it's almost like parents don't want to parent anymore. And I know during the pandemic, it was difficult because parents had to be home all day, all the time with their child. But you are still held accountable until that baby reaches 18 and is practically grown and out of your house. And even then, you are responsible for the upbringing of that child. You are going to be held accountable for how you raise and how you train that child. So let's talk about some things. So I want to train my child then. Okay. I want to teach my child, Ms. McKnight. What am I supposed to do? Oh, and by the way, I'm Jenae McKnight. I'm your education news anchor for this podcast today. This is a live podcast on Facebook. It will be posted on YouTube, on Anchor, Spotify, as well as on Apple Podcasts later on. All right. So I just want to make sure I did that. I don't even know if I introduced myself to my new audience, to the new people out there. But anyhow, so let's talk about parenting. Let's talk about some things that you can do as a parent. So if you are the first parent, like I said on this shirt, you're their first teacher. You may ask yourself, what do I teach my child? I'm not a teacher, Miss McKnight. I don't know how to teach. You don't have to be an expert. Nobody said you had to be perfect. What you do need, though, is you need to teach them their colors. You need to teach them their numbers. You need to teach them their alphabet. Now, there was a baby that I posted on the Agape page. This baby looked like she was all of maybe 1.5, 2 years old, but she had learned all of her alphabets and a word associated with that letter sound. If she can do it, your baby can do it. God is not a respecter of persons, and he is not going to give one child something that he can't give another one. And I know the education system says, by teaching somebody through repetition, that doesn't work. I'm just going to smile. And I'm going to say that I don't believe that, because what I learned by rote and what many of you learned by rote, you still remember it. You still remember your multiplication facts because it was drilled. You still remember your colors. You still remember your alphabet. You remember all of that because guess what? You were drilled in it. Repetition is the mother of all learning. And if it was good then, it's still good. So I'm just going to put that out there that I don't believe that everything that people say is best practice, and everything that's not best practice is not best practice. I would rather go toe to toe with some people because I've seen it even today. Some children that you still have to repeat things with over and over and over again come out better than kids that are learning this new way. But that's for a whole nother podcast. Okay. So also you could teach them foods, tastes, take them to the grocery store, take them out in the meadow, take them out to a farm, teach them how to sort produce, teach them what is citrus, teach them what are green vegetables, teach them those types of things as you go to the grocery store. Talk to your kids. I think that right now also is a major thing. Parents are not talking to their kids and they're not allowing their kids to talk to them. And I know it's so much on parents' minds and it's so much that you got going on, but don't have a forced conversation with your kids. Have an enjoyable conversation with your kids. Don't let them choose everything that they want all the time because then you're raising a brat. Then you're raising somebody that's going to be demanding you, telling you what to do. You put them in a boundary. Okay, mama don't feel like cooking tonight. These are your three choices. You can eat a bologna sandwich at home. You can get a cheeseburger or a hamburger from McDonald's. Or you can eat salad that I make at home. Which one you want? And I said a cheeseburger or a hamburger. That's all you get. You see what I'm saying? You have to set some boundaries. Yes, let them have a choice, but you're gonna give them three choices to pick from. You're not just gonna make a spectrum and say, oh, you can pick whatever you want to, because guess what? They might be like, I want lobster, I want crab, I want shrimp, I want this, I want that. And then here you are trying to meet that need as their parent. Don't do it. Because if you start now, if you start at the early ages doing that, honey, by the time they reach high school, you're going to be done spent all your savings trying to buy what that child wants, as opposed to what you actually wanted to get them or what it is that you can actually afford at that time. And that's not how you want to go about that. Okay. So another thing you want to teach your children when they're like that baby to preschool ages, you want to teach them to talk to people. And I'm going to use this term. You want to teach parents, teach. That's what I want you to do. Teach parents, teach your children. But then also when you teach them to talk to people, you want to teach, you want to train, and you want to explain. Okay. TTE. You want to teach, you want to train, you want to explain. So one of the things, okay, so you're going to teach them these things. You're going to teach them whenever something comes up and they don't understand it and they're looking like, mama, what is that? Teach them about that concept. Teach them. So like, for example, let's say that you are at the store and you see, you see little Johnny, and Johnny's rolling all over the floor and screaming and hollering, and your child is looking like, because this is how my daughters used to do. They would be looking at him like, what's wrong with him? And so what I would do is take that as a teaching opportunity. And I would say right there, you see a child that is right now out of control. You see a dysregulated child. And they say, mama, what is dysregulated? That means that he is not regulated. That means that he is not acting like he would normally. He is acting out, probably because either he wants something or his parent told him no. So I'm teaching them. Then what I'm going to do is use that as a training opportunity. The training opportunity comes when I say, now, is that the way that mommy would want you to behave? No. Why? Tell me why I wouldn't want you to behave like that. Because he looked crazy. Yep. Let them use their language when they're explaining it back to you. He looked like something wrong with him. He's causing a lot of attention. He's acting bad. He's making his mom look sad. All of these things, your children are absolutely right. Let them express what they see. And that way they're a part of the learning too. And then that's when you begin to train them and you tell them, yes, that is not how mommy would desire for you to act. I would rather for you to state what you would want. And if mommy says no, then we can talk about it more when we get home. And maybe next time you might be able to get that thing. You see what I'm saying? So you want to train your children. You train them, and I'm not using, because some people, when I say train, they say, my child ain't no dog. I ain't training. You do trainings at work all the time. Yeah, that. You do trainings at work all the time, and you're not a dog, and neither are your children. Okay? So it is okay for you to train your children. The Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart. It's a reason why they say train. Okay? It's a reason why God put train in there. Then you want to explain. You want to explain to them. You can explain to them why that's not, in your opinion as a parent, why that's not appropriate behavior. You want to explain to them what would happen if they ever thought about acting out like that. You want to explain to them possible reasons why that might be happening, but always preface it by, you don't know, so that they can be open. But that's what you want to do. You want to teach, train, and explain to your children. Okay. Then also, as they begin to grow older and they get to like that kindergarten and fifth grade stage, you want to discuss their future, their destiny, and the plan for their future. Yes, parents, you need to plan. Plan for your child's future. Even if it doesn't go exactly the way that you think it should go, you still should plan and help them to plan for their future. Even as young as kindergarten, start asking them, what do you like? What do you enjoy doing? And then, so what do we need to do in order to get you there? They may say, I want to be a movie star. Okay, what do we need to get you involved in so you can get there? Let's talk about it. Let's look at some YouTube videos and find out, how do child stars start out? You see what I'm saying? Start investigating and going into those things at a young age. You may ask them, what type of life do you want to have? And they might be like, I want to be rich. I want to drive this car, this, and say, okay, what can we do now? Let's start planning for that. Let's open you up a bank account. Let's start talking about saving your money. So these are all things that you can do. And then you want to expose your child. You want it to be positive exposure, positive things that they can be exposed to so that they can learn from them. Whether you take them out somewhere, whether you take them to an amusement park, and again, you're always teaching. You're always parents. You are always the first teacher. And it doesn't mean you have to have a degree in it to teach them. And if you don't know, surround them by people that do know. You know, if you feel like you lack things and you don't know, surround your children around people that do know. Okay. Then when you get to about the 6th through 12th grade, you know, that's when you start to kind of, encounter some things with your children, because now they're in middle school, they dealing with the hormones, they going through some things and all of that. And so you start to get these types of questions, things that parents will start saying, I don't know what to do with my child. I hear it all the time. Parents, you don't know what to do with your child? Parent them. Be willing to learn from them and be willing to learn how to parent them. Be willing to learn how to set boundaries. A lot of parents they think they know it all. We don't know it all. I don't care how long you've been a parent. You don't know it all, because things are changing by the hour, by the minute. So we could all pick up a book and learn something new. And I know people don't read like that no more. Get Audible and listen in, or listen on YouTube. Okay. All right. Okay. But then anyhow, another thing that might come up is, I don't know what to do with my child, or I don't know how to help my child. I don't know how to help my child with homework. Again, parents, you have no excuse now. There's a YouTube video for everything. There's a video online somewhere that can teach that concept to you and your child. But you got to be willing to take the time. When you get home from work, I know you dog tired because I be dog tired. You want to get home, you want to relax, you don't want to think about nothing with the kids. Take 15 minutes. Spend with your child. Watch the YouTube video with your child so that they can learn what that concept is, whether it's how to do exponents, whether it's how to write a story, whatever it is, they got something online for you to learn from. Okay? So therefore, you have to be willing to take that time. Another thing that might come up in these years. Well, I didn't do well in school, so my child just lost. No, stop declaring that over your child. Take a free course so that you can learn some things. Take an interest in your own education. And as you're learning, you're teaching. As you're learning, you're teaching. Remember my saying, TPT, teach, parents, teach. So that's why you have to be willing to better yourself. And you don't need a whole lot of money. You got a cell phone, which 90% of the people do. 99% of the people in the world have a cell phone now. So you got a cell phone, you can learn something. On your way to work, when you're driving to work, boop, put that video on. Listen to how they are teaching you. And if you got to listen to it 10 times, listen to it 10 times so that you can learn something to teach your child. Okay? So we're going to stop making excuses. So you can check out school resources. You can check out free tutoring, Google, YouTube, all of these places is where you can find videos to almost teach anything. So parents, you are the first teachers. And so then next, I want to teach you something real quick from my book. Some people are like, well, that sounds wonderful, Miss McKnight, but my house is not ordered like that. That's not how my house goes. I'm not able to teach them anything. My kids is wild. Everything's going crazy. Me and my husband having problems. Da, 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 da. Okay. Well, let me give you this in my closing because I didn't mean to be this long. 5 steps to putting your house in order. So this needs to happen before you can hardly even teach. You can probably do it simultaneously, but one of the things that you want to do first, the first step to putting your house in order is you want to put God first as a family. Yeah, I know people like, but I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. Yeah, you do. When you get in a deep enough issue, like I was in, when you get into a place where you are desperate, everybody call on God. Even the atheists, even the hardest person, because guess what? They don't know what to expect. And they know that God got something to do with their future in eternal life. So put God first. Learn about him. YouTube him. Listen to the Bible app. Find out more about who is God. Put him first in your family and watch things turn around. Step 2, husbands, take your rightful place. Fathers, take your rightful place as the head, as the father figure, as the person in that child's life that basically gives them their identity, especially your daughters. Fathers, you give your daughters their identity, whether they're going to be shaking it and dropping it like it's hot, or whether or not they're going to carry themselves as a mature young lady. A lot of it is based on you, Dad, how you show them how they should be treated by a man, how you show them how they should respect and honor themselves, how you tell your daughters that they're beautiful. Because guess what? If you tell them that they're beautiful, if somebody else come along and telling you, they be like, I know, because my daddy already told me that. My daddy already told me in the Bible, first of all, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And my daddy told me that I am beautiful. So come again. You got to come with better than just telling me that I'm beautiful. I know that. You see what I'm saying? You put that confidence already there in that daughter's life. Then she won't be out there dressed any kind of way, doing any kind of thing. I can't believe what I heard the other day about young ladies doing stuff in high school. Blew my mind. I was like, what? What? That's why we need more mentoring programs. We need more adult mentors that really have something to share. But that's for another podcast. All right. So then also step 3, wives, mothers, women, take your rightful place. Take your rightful place in your children's lives. Be the parent. Be the mother, not the best friend. You shouldn't be talking raggedy to your kids or for your kids. If you can't control your mouth, then what makes you think your children can? What you do is set the example. So you have to be the example. Be the parent, not the girlfriend. Okay? And if you want to know more about that, you can purchase my book, Agape, Creating New Paths in Parenting. You can go to our website at agapelearningtools.com, and it is available there. But I want to get ready to close out. And one of the key things to you being that parent, that wonderful parent, and you being a parent that loves your children is to love your family. Love your family enough to put God first. Love your family enough to be that father, to be that mother. And there's some more. I know I said 5 steps. There's more steps to it, but you're going to have to buy the book for that, or you're going to have to wait for another podcast for that. Okay. But I want you to love your family. And then, as I said earlier, teach, parents, teach. Don't worry about what you don't know. Don't worry about what you didn't learn in school. What you do know, teach. What you don't know, learn. Surround yourself with people that know it. Okay? So I am your educational host, Jenae McKnight, and I just wanted to share a little bit tonight with you about parenting. I wanted to talk to you about parenting. I don't see where anybody has joined me yet on here. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just not able to see you. I'm sorry that I can't see you if you are on here, but let me try one more time. But I wanted to say that I just want you guys to learn some things from this. And if you have learned anything, put some comments in for me and let me know. And let me know exactly what you think about the podcast. Let me know some of your questions or your concerns. You can put them in the chat. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today about Let's Talk About Parenting. And there's more to come. See you later. Bye-bye.